Good evening all. In this session basically we will see how to use in-memory database with the ASP.NET Core application. So that is actually the main agenda for this session. So the uh, in Java technology you have S2 database which can be used as an in-memory database. So in .NET also there is an option right now available which is actually called .NET Entity Framework Core in-memory database. So we'll see how to use it in ASP.NET Core application. So I'm going to the Visual Studio here. I'll create a new project. So I'm going for ASP.NET Core Web API project. So this is the project template I'm selecting. So since we are going to create a RESTful web service here. So application name, I'll give it as in-memory demo. And I'll select a folder. Demo. Next. Here I'm using the latest version of .NET, that is .NET 5.0. Okay, so other options are also available here. So I'm going for the latest version. I don't have any authentication type here, so I am fine with the HTTPS configuration. I'm not going for Docker because it's only a simple desktop application I'm creating, or ASP.NET Core application which is not going to be Dockerized. So I'm not enabling the Docker here in creating the application. Okay, the application is created now. Okay, so this is actually the folder structure of my application. Now, the first step is the dependency we need to include. Okay, so we can go to the tools. NuGet package manager, NuGet package manager console. Can go for install package, and the package to be installed is Microsoft dot entity dot in memory. So this is the package which you need to install. Okay, so this is the easiest way to install. You might be familiar with the installation of NuGet package from package manager from here also. You can go here, go for managing NuGet package for solution here. Now if you see that's already installed, you can go browse here, and otherwise you can go here. You can search for in memory. Here you will get. Okay, so from here also you can install, but since it's already installed, you can see that uninstall option will be there. So it is already installed through the package manager console. Okay, now if you go and check the dependencies here, the packages, you can see that Entity Framework Core in-memory database package has also been installed. That's the first step. Second step is basically to create a model. So I'll create a folder here. Create a folder called model. Inside the model, I'll create a class. Give the name as employee, clear. And I'll add a couple of properties for the employee. name, general add, age I will include, so this is my model. These are my entity class. Clear? So this is going to be my entity class. So let it be there only. So that's the second step. First one is dependencies. That is Microsoft Entity Framework Core in-memory dependency you need to install. Second one is create models. So how many ever models you want, you can have. So we are going with only one option. And another thing I want to point out here is I am not going for any repository pattern, or I am not going for any service layer or something like that. Since it's only a demo on how to use in-memory database with the .NET, I am directly trying to access the data from the controller itself. Okay, so I am not going to have a enterprise grade application with the DIO layer, service layer and all those things. I am going to access directly from the controller here. So this just to understand how to use in-memory database with the .NET. Okay, so second one is the option. Second step is also complete. The third step is to create the DB contest object. So that also I'll create inside the model only. If you want, you can have a separate folder created for that. So here I am directly put it in to save some time. So I'll give the name as employee DB contest. And this employee DB contest, as we all know, should be inheriting from DB contest. Okay. So I will include a constructor here, which takes a DB contest option. It has options, and I'm just passing that particular parameter to the base class constructor. Okay. Then I'll define my DB sets here. Fair enough. So it's employees only. So that's all. Okay, this is the third step. You have to create the DB contest object. Now you have to register the DB contest with the startup. It registers as a service with the startup. So I'll go to startup here. The configure services method here, I'll register it. It says service. So before that, you need to go to app setting. So this all things I don't need. I will delete this one. Weather forecast and all those is created by default. I don't need that. Similarly, in the controller also, the weather forecast controller I don't need, so I delete it. Okay, so app settings. This is actually not required, but since when we are working with a normal database, we usually define our connection strings here. So I'll go for connection strings here. I'll give the name as mydb only. This is the property name which I am giving. Okay, this is only a database name. In memory, there is no concept of any connection string. So only the database name, but I am showing here as a connection string so that the people who are not familiar with how to use connection strings in .NET Core will be able to understand that. So name also I am giving it as mydb only. This is a database name only. There's nothing to do with the connection string or something like that. In memory database, we are only bothered about the database name. We are not bothered about any connection strings or something like that. Okay, so that we have done. Now we can go to the startup class here. Here we will register this one. Services dot add DB contest, add DB contest of employee DB contest. Okay. DB contest options we need, so I'll put it as option. Option dot use in-memory database, and this is the database name we need to mention here. Okay, so instead of specifying the database name, that you can directly give the database name here, but I will read it from the appsetting.json file. Say configuration dot get connection string. I'll specify the connection string here. It's actually MyDB. So this contains the database. So that's done. So that is that's all. So the step is done. Okay, so that is the only steps which are required. Now we need to go and create a controller. Okay, so in the controller folder, I'll go and add a controller here. Going for an API controller. Okay, so here I will create a field here. It's actually employee DB contest only. Give the name as underscore contest. Okay, so this will be automatically dependency injected into the constructor, and that is assigned to the contest. So dependency injection is in work here. So since we have already registered here in the startup.cs file, automatically when that constructor gets executed, the dependency will be automatically injected there. Now we will go to values controller. So okay, so this is looks like, so I'll put it as employee controller. We should have changed the name there. Fine. That's fair enough. Now we will go with the operations. Okay, so first one I'll put it as public list of employee. So get employees I'll put. Okay, so here I'll specify return underscore contest dot employees dot to list, and this is an HTTP get method. Second one I'll go for get by ID, so that also I'll go public. It's going to return an employee object. Give the name as get employee by ID, integer ID, and this again is an HTTP get method, but it takes one additional parameter. Okay, so that ID is mentioned here. So here we will say return underscore contest dot employees dot single or default is such that e dot id equal to id. Okay, assuming that the ID is already there, assuming that it is there, we are not going to type anything wrong. Okay, so you can also check whether it is available or not, okay, but I am not checking here. I will check somewhere down when we go for the put operation or delete operation we will do. Okay. So here let it be like this only to save some time. And the next one is delete employee we will put. Okay, so public. Here I will put I action result. I will put the name as delete. Integer ID. So this is again HTTP. Delete operation. Here also will take one additional parameter which needs to be mentioned here. ID. Okay. So here we will check whether the ID you are providing is already there. So I will put var emp equal to underscore contest dot employees dot single or default access that x dot id equal to id. So meaningful name, if you want you can put a meaningful name. Okay, so I'll put it as x is employee only. Here it is shown here because I am using Ray Sharper. Okay. Now I'll check if emp equal to null. Return not found. Employee to the ID plus ID does not exist. Okay. Otherwise, will return okay. Whatever you want, there are two overloaded methods there. Yes, you can overloaded methods are there. You can pass a value, object value, or simply. So I will put a message here. So I will say employee with the ID. Deleted successfully. Or you can delete the object also, delete the employee itself, you can return. Okay. So that's also fair enough. So whatever. Okay. So that is delete. Now we'll go for add operation, post operation. So that is actually HTTP post operation. We put public I action result. Employee. Okay, so we will add it as underscore contest dot employees dot add. Something we missed out here because when you delete, okay, we are not deleting it, no. So you have to delete first. So how will you delete it? You have to delete it first by issuing a command called underscore contest dot employees dot remove is the method. Okay, so to that I'll pass the located employee object. Okay, not only that, after that you have to say underscore context dot save changes. Okay, so that will do the things. Here we will say employee dot add this employee. Not only that, underscore context dot save changes. And you can return. We want 201 created as the status report, status code. So I'll say created. Yeah, so created, take a URL, string URL, I'll specify it as employees slash, it's actually API.employee, API slash employee plus employee.id, comma, this is the actual object that got added. Okay. So that's fair enough. I think it's completely all. Now only update is pending. Public. Action result. Update. I am not only passing object, I am passing ID also here. So if you don't want to pass ID, you can directly pass employee object also. But in the employee object, you need to pass ID also in that case. So I am going for the normal conventional way of passing the ID along with the update operation. So employee here also we will locate first so that this code remains the same. That I'll check like this. Okay. Here we will check if employee.name not equal to null. Okay, if the employee.name does not contain, the object does not contain any name, in that case emp.name equal to employee.name. Similarly, I copy paste this one. Gender fine. Similarly, age also. If age is not passed by the user, then the value of the age will be 0. So I'll say employee dot age not equal to 0. MB dot age equal to employee dot age. Similarly for the other one. Salary okay, so all the data updated. Now only thing is that we need to update. For that I'll say context dot update. So update expect an entity as the parameter. Clear? So I'll pass emb here. which contains the updated data. Wherever data comes in, that will be updated. If there is no data passed for any of these fields like age or salary or gender, that will be the old value which is taken from the database. Then save the changes. Okay, then you can pass return the value, return. Okay, you can specify employee with the ID plus ID updated successfully. Okay, so I think we have done. Okay, this is an update operation that has to be mentioned with the HTTP put operation. This also take one additional parameter as the path variable, path parameter. So we have to mention that. Okay. Just run it one and see whether there is any exception being generated. No exception, all the documentations are there. Okay, so if we go and specify this as slash API slash employees blank. Okay, so you can go and add the data. We'll take this URL from here and put it here. Okay, get operation here also will result blank. So I'll go for a post operation here. Go to headers, raw data, JSON. ID as one I'll put. Okay, some value, post operation. Okay, you can see status 201 created. Okay, change created, and the data is being returned also. Now you can go and get the data. You'll get the same data. If you specifically ask for one specific employee here, for example, one, going for two, you can see here 204 no content. Okay, so but that is not that there we have not written the code. So for delete only we have mentioned that. So we'll try to delete 2, which is not there. Employee with ID 2 does not exist. The error message will be shown. But if you go and update, we'll go for an update operation. 2 I will say, put employee with ID 2 does not exist. So I'll try to update 1 here. So I'll update 1 and change name to Manu Verma, and this I'll make it as 88,000. Remaining values I am not passing. Okay, only these values I am passing. ID also there is no need because I am passing through the path parameter, passing as a path parameter. Only name and salary as the value I am updating here. Okay, so I am passing it. It says employee with ID 1 updated successfully, and now if you go and try to pull the data out, you can see that Manu Verma and the salary has been updated with 88,000. Okay, so this is how you do in-memory database. How many ever you want you can add, but if you want some initial data to be added, okay, before post operation, you need to have some initial data to be there in the in-memory database. That's also possible here. So what you need to do here is you have to go to startup class here. In the startup class, I'll create a function. I'll say public static void say see data, and I will pass employee DB contest as a parameter here with the name as contest. Okay. Then I'll create some objects here. So I'll create employee EMB1 equal to new of employee, go for object initializer syntax, ID equal to 1, name equal to Manu, gender equal to male, age equal to 23, salary equal to 45,000. This is one employee object. Second one is employee EMB2 equal to new of employee, ID equal to 2, name equal to Suma, gender equal to female, age equal to 27, salary equal to, okay. Now here we are getting contest object as the parameter here. So I will add to that particular contest object contest dot employees dot add EMB1, that is the first employee, contest dot employees dot add EMB2, that's second employee, and contest dot save changes. Okay. Now come to this configure method. This is only for updating. Come to this configure method here. I need to get a reference to the service employee DB contest. Employee DB contest is already registered here as a service. So you can get it from here. So the configure method here, I'll say I can say var contest equal to app. App is actually this one, I application builder here. You can see that app dot application services dot get service, and you can specify which is the service you want as a type parameter here. Okay, So I'll say employee DB contest. So many of the documentation says only this much, okay, but this will not work. I'll show you why it is not working. Yeah. So okay, fine. I'll get the contest. Now I can call this method seed data and pass the contest objective. Okay. So save this one. Clear? Now if you try to execute this one, you will get this error. Cannot resolve scoped service in-memory demo model employee DB contest from the root provider. So this is the error will come. So many of the documentation says only this much, but this is not working. Right? So what you need to do is you have to create a scope first. So for that, remove this one. You create a scope equal to app.applicationservice.create scope. This is the first step which you need to do. After that, you can create the contest. You can get the contest. You can say scope.serviceprovider.getService. Here you specify what is the service you need. Employee DB contest. Okay. Now try executing it once again. No error here. API/employees, you will get the data. Clear. So whatever data I have added here, that is getting displayed here. Now you can go and check all operations here. Now here also, if you issue a get operation here, you can see that 2 data is there. I am going for the post operation. Yeah. So I'll put it as 3 here. And some salary I'll put it here. Okay. So it says annual comes here. So you can get it. You can see all the 3 data is there. Clear. So you can go and update the operation. Put operation. I'll try to update 3 only. Okay. So make it as Anil Kumar only. The only name I will pass. The remaining I don't want to change at all. Whatever you want to, we have written the code in such a way that you don't need to specify anything else. Whatever you want to update, only that data you pass. Okay, so here I am trying to update name only. So Anil is trying to convert it to Anil Kumar. Oh. You have to specify this thing here. So this is 3 here. Employee with ID 3 updated successfully. We will see whether it is updated successfully. Go and get it. You can see that it got updated. Okay. Similarly, try to delete. We have not tried previously. So we will try with 4 here. Or does not exist. So I'll try to delete 2. Employee with ID 2 deleted successfully. Now if you go and try to get it, get operation. Okay, we have not written the code there, that's why here. So see, we have written the code like that. We are simply returning it. We are not checking whether it is present or not. That is why it is coming like that. Okay. So if you try to delete this one, you will get the error message because you have written the code there. Okay. If you go and check here, you can see get by ID. You can see that you are not checking for any error condition. Directly you are trying to retrieve the data. Clear. So that's why it is not showing in here. But delete operation, update operation works perfectly fine. Clear? So to delete it, and we will, if we try to go and get all employees here, you can see that 1 and 3 are there. Clear? So this is how we use in-memory database with the .NET application. So that's all I want to put it across in this particular session. Thanks for watching.